Okay, I know what you're thinking. Keep this away from the children. But have you considered that the thousands of hours you've been wasting in Hearts of Iron 4 haven't been entirely unproductive? Think about it. You've likely learned how to locate Romania on a map. Maybe even figure out where Transylvania is. I mean, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? You don't learn that shit in college communications classes, or even like a high school history class. I mean, honestly, are you going to really learn where Targumures is? No. But think harder about this for a second, guys. I mean, come on. Think of how powerful a thought experiment alternate history can be. You've probably played Kaiserreich, or at least seen someone struggle through it before. Now you know what the consequences were for World War I, at least kind of, to one person's imagination, or at least a modding team's imagination. Still, though, makes the Allied victory all the more tangible. So, here we are in 2025. Geopolitical crises abound. Yet Hearts of Iron remains a popular game on Steam, and rightfully so. A generation of gamers, which I'm a part of, have been trained on maps like we are the dogs in one of Pavlov's experiments. And I think that's good for us. We have a knowledge that we can pass on now, thanks to this shitty game. So, I'm going to raise a point to you all. Why isn't this taught in our schools? By our schools, I mean wherever you may live. If you have a school in your area, and it teaches about history and socioeconomic history and whatever else, whatever that junk is, why don't we look at this map more often? I mean, there are some outlier professors or teachers that have probably used a Paradox game in some way. We've all seen the Reddit post way back in the day. Some college professor put EU4 on the screen in a presentation. Yeah, that's funny, but that's not what I'm getting at. I mean, why not put this in a history textbook? Why not put a CD in the book that's a copy of Hearts of Iron 4 you could put in, and it has the historian's annotated version of the game? It's like an interactive history for someone to consume. Now, I think the young brain does good with colors, icons, clicky things, and look at this map. I can't think of an alternative map online that could even come close to this. You can click on a country, see its flag, see its leader, see, I mean, it's totally accurate, highly accurate government pie chart, and you can see so much more by looking at the traits, and it's unique to every country. I mean, yeah, it's limited by the game mechanics. I mean, you don't want a student to have to know what an air manpower requirement is, but still, it's interesting that that's there. You could learn about the Luftwaffe through some little trait in this game. Think about how much reading you would have to do to convey that information to somebody who couldn't see it on a screen. So hear me out. High schools should be able to purchase a license from Paradox to install this beautiful application onto the library desktop computers and maybe even students' Chromebooks. Before you kill me in the comments, I am kidding about the scope of this. But imagine if something as simple as a Hoi4 viewer existed. A map where you could click on countries just like I'm doing now, and maybe not actually play the game, not use the soldiers or any of that, but see the flag, see the name of the county you're clicking on, see the contested cores and claims on different areas. You could see all that, and it would be so useful to complement a regular class setting. And yeah, there might be some alternatives online, but I honestly can't think of any. Satera, maybe? But you can't get this level of detail through that. Let me raise this point as well. Children have hands. Those hands should be on something. Whether it's a toy or a keyboard playing as Nazi Germany, I honestly think this won't be detrimental to children. If we give them a keyboard, show them this map, let them click around on it, let them see these tiles, let them get familiar with the rivers, the mountains, the regions. Let them get used to this. And I don't think it will raise them to be a generation of warmongers. They already are. I honestly think this will raise a generation of people that aren't unaware of a place like Iran, or unfamiliar with the location of Syria and the fact that it was French for a long time. Let's spread this Paradox plague like it's the plague. My children, all 12 of them, will be raised on Hirohito chins, Sunglasses Man in Cuba, and the beauty of Moldova. And guess what? I can tell you where Moldova is thanks to this game. I mean, actually, I kind of can't. But it's there. This is Bessarabia, but still. There we go, Moldova, yeah. It's a simple concept, really, what I'm going for here, but one that I think genuinely holds up. We need good historians now more than ever. Somebody can really lock in on these international borders and understand the layers of history from a young age, then that's nothing but a good thing when you're trying to learn history. Still, I understand you probably have some concerns, and so do I. I mean, what are we going to do with the Wereabus? It's a serious problem. People see this Germany and they're like, oh my god, it has been snipped. It is castrated Germany. Like, they don't like it. They want to, all of a sudden, now they're drawing new borders and they're going to get the wrong idea. That's why I think we need an interface from Paradox that is not centered around the warfare. It's more centered around the way this map is viewed and interacted with. You may also be concerned about My Little Pony syndrome. I have no fix for that other than keep kids away from the Steam Workshop. I also think there's another problem with the I want to be a monarchist kid syndrome. This is a problem where all of a sudden people get a little too curious about what the DNVP was, and all of a sudden they realize that the Kaiser's still alive. That causes some problems. I'm not sure how we fix that, but I think most people grow out of it as well. If you've sunk thousands of hours into Hearts of Iron, you've probably gone through some weird phase where you're stuck, you're entrenched in Czechoslovakian monarchist history, and then you finally get out of it and you realize, like, dang, I haven't eaten in 5 days, but I now know the entire bloodline of Czechoslovakia, and it feels great. It feels great. You grow out of it. It's like a fast, but a mental fast. You lose your brain cells, but then the ones that are left are just refined ever so slightly. So, I trust that with the right usage, Hearts of Iron 4 in some form, or maybe some other kind of Paradox interactive grand strategy map, could be an innovative thing to have in schools. And on top of that, I also think it's important for people to understand that this map changes. Borders change, countries change. And this isn't that long ago. This is only like 80 years ago. Really, it has not been long since these events have unfolded. And to be able to see them unfold before your eyes instead of just like on a Wikipedia article is something powerful. Install this shit on the library PCs and Chromebooks, and let's get this Paradox show on the road. I sound like such a nerd, but I stand by this. I think without something like this, history becomes so distant. All of a sudden, when you see how interconnected this little mapping game is with a larger series of events that really dwarfs all of us watching this video, you realize we've made something very, very powerful here. Obviously, this video does nothing. Won't change the minds of any educators or government people, and I don't care about that, really. It's just more of like, I want to just get this standpoint established. I want to make a case before the court, you know? Present my evidence, which is the fact that I can kind of tell you where Bratislava is without having to look very hard. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Thank you for watching. Take care. And think about the things that have influenced you. Maybe this is one of them.